there's a lot of great things in this football game tonight, and obviously there were some things that weren't so good. And we'll just have to try to learn from our mistakes and benefit from the second half and coming back and pulling together and defensively shutting them out, not giving up a big play in the kicking game, getting a couple of plays in the kicking game, offensively taking the ball and scoring. It's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. I don't want to single out anybody, but Reed McMillan, where you at? He's packed in ice. Well, I can... I'm mighty happy for him. It's been a long, hard road for him, and he had a heck of a night. But he couldn't have done it without you offensive linemen up front. That was the difference in the football game in the second half. You took control of the line of scrimmage on the offensive side, and I'm assuming we did the same thing on our defensive side, because I don't know how many first downs they made the second half. It wasn't many.
This is the Auburn Football Review with Coach Penn.
Welcome to the Auburn Football Review. Auburn comes back from 17 down to beat 1AA Power, national champion Georgia Southern 32-17. Late yesterday afternoon and last night, Coach, there were some tense moments.
Well, it wasn't easy, that's for sure. And, of course, a lot of credit goes to Tim Stiles and his staff and the Georgia Southern football team. And in the first half, it looked like we just picked up where we left off last year. And then I think the second half, we played probably the best half of football we've played in a long time. Yeah. And, you know, the total team effort came together. And I'd say that just reflecting back and without studying it, and I haven't studied it, that outside of the snaps on field goals and extra points and the handling of that situation, the second half, we played error-free football and you know, took control of the game, and offensively did what we had to do, and defensively, you know, it just looked like old Auburn. And
that was a remarkable part of the game. It was almost a total turnaround. It was a team effort in the first half of mistakes and a team effort of turning things around in the second half.
And which is, you know, you need to have some games like this. I didn't care about it coming last night necessarily, but if you're going to have a chance to win a championship, then you got to have the ability and the character and the poise to come from behind. And a lot of times it's harder to come from behind against a football team like Georgia Southern than it is a good football team, and or a bigger, stronger football team, because they catch you flat. And I don't necessarily think we were flat going in the game yesterday. I just think the errors that we made with the turnovers in the first half gave them an awful lot of encouragement. And of course, they were well prepared. But some of the things that worked from the second half, you know, didn't work. Worked from the first half, didn't work the second half.
Yes, whoopee pass
which
in particular.
Is right, that and plus the quarterback hurting us running the football some in the first half. And we stopped the fullback, stopped the quarterback, and stopped the little Utah pass. And you know, there's a lot of good things in the ball game and a lot of things that we can learn from, and hopefully be a better football team next time around. I had hoped that we could play, you know, a few more people than we played last night and give some of them a little more of an opportunity. But the way the game turned out, we stayed with the guys that you know, that had to work in practice, and the ones that you know, we felt like it was going to give us the best chance of winning a football game, and we didn't get to experiment as much as I would have liked to have. But you know, they'll get the chance in practice the next week and a half.
Okay, let's go into the dressing room now and talk to some of those players that shouldered the responsibility in the second half.
They ran the ball against us, and they ran it well. And we went back out the second half. We came together not only from a defensive standpoint, from an offensive standpoint as well. And
put it all together.
Put it all together, and the end results, a win.
The second half, we came in the locker room and we realized, you know, that we weren't just going to show up and win. That this is a great team. You know, we had to go back and fight, and we decided, you know, when we made our minds up, and then I don't think, you know, there's nothing stopping us after that.
I believe that we had really just went out there the first half and just thought we was gonna walk all over. And that's what I really think. But you know, we came back out the second half and just went, you know, right to fundamental base. I mean, football.
We just had to play harder. I think our intensity level on defense picked up. The intensity level on offense picked up, and I think we united as a group and we just played football.
What were you thinking tonight when everything was going bad in the first half?
I was thinking somebody had to step up and take the leadership role, and we had to get back into this game any way possible.
What do you think it was that got you back?
Second half, we came out, we played more as a team. We didn't have as many mental errors, we didn't have as many penalties, and we just played the football that Auburn can play.
First half, you know, I don't know what the problem was. We just weren't playing as the offensive line. Somebody would mess up here, you know, and next play somebody would mess up somewhere else. Second half, we came in here and we just, you know, told everybody, you know, we just got to get it together. Well, in the second half, you know, we played as a team, and it showed, you know, it showed on the scoreboard.
This could be good for the team, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. I believe it's going to be great for the team. Like you saw tonight, that first half we just didn't execute, so we need to work out some of those kinks and come together.
When it all comes down to that winning attitude, on the field and on campus, you just can't beat the Auburn Tigers. And when it comes to that winning refreshment...
What a crowd, 79,000.
First half last night, I thought we were going to need that fence, too. It was a great crowd last night, and there's a lot of fun things going on. We had honored Coach Sullivan being inducted to the National Football Hall of Fame. They've already scored one touchdown and
a field goal.
And we turned it over down here, and they're taking this one in for another touchdown.
Suddenly it's 17 to nothing, Coach.
They, right, and the drive for the touchdown didn't surprise me and didn't bother me that much, but us turning the football over and keep giving it to them, now that concerned me. And if that had continued the rest of the night, of course, we wouldn't have won a football game, but, you know, we didn't do it the second half. As Reed McMillan and Joe Frazier both running good and hard and tough, and offensive line coming off the football and creating some running room for them.
You know, the four major distance penalties were also big in this first.
Well, they were. Stan hitting Pedro Cherry and Pedro and Herbert Casey and all our wide receivers really have been outstanding in preseason. And here's a great play by Stan right there, just dumping the ball off to Reed McMillan against a blitz, and we get a big play and get the ball down to the 10-yard line. But this is critical right here that we don't get this football in. And we end up, I think, maybe getting a 5-yard penalty or something, but whatever the reason was, we didn't get it in, and that's a third down play right there. We don't connect, and Jim Von Weil comes in and kicks a field goal. We just, I don't know why we had so much trouble on the snaps on the field goals last night. We used Jason Fitzgerald and a little walk-on, and our snaps on the punts were fine.
Mm-hmm. Timing definitely.
That little quarterback Bostic is a terrific little football player, but you're going to see from this point on in the football game defensively, we more or less take control of the game, and we get the ball for the offense several times. There's a great play right here by James Willis and Darryl Crawford, and John Wilson's in there. And
that play had set up the touchdown early in the game.
Well, I think again, you know, you got to see those things as a tip ball. And this is a big play in the game where, you know, that was.
Looks like they're going to go in for another.
Richard Shea and John Wilson on the stop on the quarterback, and of course, Corey Barlow comes in and blocks this field goal, and and keeps the score 17-3.
That's when the crowd really got in.
And it was a big play in the game. And Coach Stiles after the game said he felt like that was a big play because it allowed us to go in the half with momentum. We actually take the ball down and miss a field goal. Stan's hitting Dale Overton right here, and we get the ball down in plenty good enough room to. He's going to hit Herbert Casey over the middle here, and we got the ball down to inside around the 20-yard line, I guess, and we line up here and miss a field goal. So the half ends at 17-3, and you know, I looked at the statistics, and I always like to do that. And we had turned it over 3 times and had 60-something yards in penalties, and we were self-destructing, and we came out second half and didn't do it, and picked up the intensity level, and like I said, I think played about as good as we could play the second half of that ball game last night.
A lot of fans want to think that the coach does double flips and peels the paint off the wall and stuff at the half in a situation
There's
like
a time to do that and a time not to do it, and last night wasn't really the time to do it. The only thing that I really kind of scolded them about is I thought that their offensive line was controlling the line of scrimmage against our defensive front, and giving their little fullback some running room inside, and we shut that down the second half, but you can't you can't throw fits in the dressing room about turnovers. I mean, and that's got to come from the players themselves, and they've been taught, and that just calls for a little more concentration, a little more discipline. Same thing with the penalties.
Okay, a couple of announcements. Of course, Auburn is off next week, and then they play Ole Miss a week from Saturday. Stand by for an announcement on that. There's a possibility of pay-per-view for that game. More information on Tiger Talk, on Coach Dye's talk show, Thursday night at 7 o'clock on the Auburn Network. Now, we'll be back in just a minute to look at a very exciting second half after this. Pat Dye, if folks came expecting a boring ball game, they certainly got their $18 worth of it, didn't they?
Well, it was an exciting second half, that's for sure, and it just things just didn't happen. We self-destructed, and we didn't make anything happen either side of football. We still didn't get a turnover on defense.
And they played error-free, which helped
right,
too.
and they left the ball on the ground a couple of times in the second half, and we didn't come up with it. So that's one thing that we've got to establish ourselves as a football team. It's going to make some things happen on defense, and we didn't do it last night. But we got a big play off of punt return with Thomas Bailey, and our offense just, took control of the game.
You're going to see a total turnaround when we return in just a moment. It's about to begin on defense and then extend on to the team.
I think that it started a lot like the Tennessee game did last year, in that we kicked off to them, and they made one first down, and we held them, and big play by John Wilson and Willie Whitehead. Willie Whitehead from Tuskegee, and not on scholarship, and there's a big play, a third down play right there where we hold them and force them to punt the football, and Willie is made a big contribution to our football team this fall. You're going to see us take control of the football game for us, running it now, and most of the time our backs are making yardage, falling forward. Here's Reed McMillan, and the middle of the offensive line, Bob Meeks and Eddie Blake and Tim Tillman, Chris Gray and Wayne Gandy was both tied in. It was a nice throw and catch. Big play, put the ball on the 10, 20-yard line. We're in there, and then Stan hits Herbert for the touchdown. We got much better pass protection in the second half. We did the first half, and that always helps the quarterback do his thing. And we closed it within a touchdown the first time we get the football the second half. And
here comes more defense now.
You can see us playing defense, and we're getting more people around the ball, and and having fun playing defense. There's a force a quick pitch, and Darrell Crawford's out there, and there's Benny Pierce, and Jason Merchant. There's a play right there that they hurt us with the first half. It comes back, and James Willis makes a big play. Little Fred Smith got in on a lot of it last night, and looked like our secondary played pretty well in the ball game. Here's a pitch on the sweep to Joe again, and looked like, I haven't talked to the coaches, but looked like Reed McMillan did a great job of blocking from fullback position. Big first down play right there to Fred Baxter, keeping the drive alive, hand it back, and that's Alex Smith running the counter for 6-7 yards.
Well, the offensive line is
They're coming off the football, aren't they? And in other words, they're coming off right now, and there's a crease going to be there somewhere, and the back's got to find it. There's a counter play again. And Georgia Southern, we hit them on the blitz twice last night with this little bootleg play right there, and they didn't pick up Reed, and he had 2 big plays on the thing, and they get a personal foul penalty there, and we take that one on in, and Joe Frazier scores from 2 yards out. You can see that there's
the blocks here, man.
Right, there's a nice little crease on the backside, and we missed the extra point here. But you know, at this point, I'm thrilled to death with the way we're playing defense, and thrilled with the way we're playing offense, and just a matter of us keeping on doing what we're doing. And as a fine play by Anthony Judge, and
kept thinking they'd give you a big play here somewhere on a turnover, but they never did.
There's Anthony again, and Willie Whitehead out there containing the quarterback, and Anthony Abrams came in and played. Of course, we played the game without Tim Cromartie that hurt his ankle Monday night, and that didn't help any. But Richard Shea and Chucky Johnson did a good job. You're going to see, I think that we'll find out that there's a nice run. Look at breaking tackles right there. I don't know how many yards he made after contact last night, but and Reed, you know, he's a kid that has fought the problems with the heat and just worked hard to play and be a part of this football team. And last night he got some of the rewards that go with all that. Yep. It's a bootleg where Stan hits Fred Baxter for the touchdown. And
3rd and 5 play, too.
The big play. Instead of having to settle for a field goal here, we get the touchdown and
go for 2. Make it.
Go for 2, and actually it's a broken play and a scramble, and good blocking right there by Reed McMillan, and he hits Herbert Casey for the 2 points. And what's the score now?
24-17.
24-17. It's a 7-point game. There again, you can see we're getting penetration. Now we're getting people around the football, and as a fine play by James Willis, and
the quarterback has to leave the game there.
John Wilson was the one that really put the hit on him for the cause of fumble. And here's a big punt in the game, 48 yards, Terry George, and kicked the ball from our end of the field to their end of the field. There's a big play right here by Reggie Barlow, sacking a little quarterback for a loss, and
they're only a touchdown behind.
So, again, I'm not sure what that was right there. I guess he was down when he pitched the ball, but you know, we're playing option responsibility, and as again you can see, we're getting around the football. There's Anthony Abrams and Mike Pelton and James Willis, and it's a great return right here by Thomas Bailey. You can see the number of people that have a hold of him, and he's going to give a lot of them before he leaves Auburn. I guess that one must have been around 20 yards or so, but that punting game last night, I thought they did a great job. There again, as Joe Frazier, he's making 6 or 7 yards. Come back, and we've run Joe, and then we hand it to Reed, and of course Reed just breaks tackles and outruns him to the goal line. And Reed has got good speed. He's a 4.6 or 4.5 something, and you can see him right here run away from these people. And my biggest concern during the game was that we played him an awful lot. This is Tony Amerson right here, a little walk-on kicker that is our holder, and it's I don't know whether he just fumbled the ball or what, but whatever. Anyway, gets the ball, picks it up, and throws it to Victor Hall for the 2-point play.
We'll be back.
This has
the feeling was there, and I felt like it would be there, just based on what I've seen of you and seen in practice and that sort of thing. And don't ever think it wasn't a big win for you, men. It was a big win for you, and I mean they're a good football team. Now I don't know how good they are, and nobody will know how good they are until our race is run. Just like nobody will know how good this football team is until our race is run, and we've just begun. Great job, coaches. Great job in the ball game. Big play on the kicking game. Big play on offense, the long run. You know we got a lot of work to do on both sides of the football. Both sides of the football. I'd say right now that our kicking game is probably what I saw out there tonight. Kids having a good time and enthusiastic and trying to make something happen every time it happens. Kicking game is about, is as far along or further along than in its attitude, men. Now we just need to build on it and get better from here.
This is the Auburn.
And welcome to the Auburn Football Review. Last night, the Tigers came back to beat the Ole Miss Rebels 23-13. Coach, you're playing with young'uns, and they're fun, and they also make big plays.
Well, they do, and somebody mentioned it last night that we had two of the young redshirt freshmen that made big plays for us. Both of them had freshman mistakes in the first quarter. One, Thomas Bailey goes back and fields a punt on the 3-yard line. Then he takes one, how far was it?
83 yards.
83 yards for a touchdown right before the half. It probably was the biggest play in the game. And then Joe Frazier fumbles the ball in the first quarter. We have a nice little drive started, and he fumbles the ball, and then he makes a big run there in the third quarter. So
another first-year player makes a big interception.
And they'll get better as the year goes along. But it was a team win and one that I think that we can build on and build around. Ole Miss has got a good football team, and I knew that they'd be ready to play. And they finished second in our conference last year, and I know that they've made a big issue out of beating Auburn and getting that season in the Southeastern Conference started off right. And had they won that ball game last night, they would have been in pretty good position, because they don't play Alabama, and they don't play Florida, two of the top teams in the conference. So
it was a big game for them.
We got lots of them, in fact, all ours. But this is a great way for us to start our conference race, and goodness, but we're not close to being as good as we can be, and we just need to keep on getting better. And this is going to be a mighty big week, getting ready to play Texas and Austin, and find out some more about our football team this week.
Let's go in the dressing room now, and we'll talk first to Fred Smith, who made that big interception late in the second quarter. They're going to go up 13 if they go in.
Yeah, I think, we need a big play. We need it then, I guess it came.
Yeah, congratulations. That's going to be the style of this defense this year, making big plays, I think.
Big plays, big hits.
I think the Auburn fans had a love-hate relationship with you tonight, Thomas, when you caught that punt down at the 4.
Oh, yeah.
But then when you ran that one back, that was the big play of the game.
Yeah, when I caught the ball inside our own 4, I knew I made a mistake, and I knew I had to make it back up. So, I went back and said to myself that I have to, do something to prove that, I'm capable of returning punts. So I just did the best I can, find an open crease.
Can you see the kicking game coming on this team?
Oh, yeah. Every week we just concentrate more on kicking than we do anything else, try to get it better and better, and then finally show it off this week.
May have won the game this week.
Oh, yes, definitely. I feel that it did. It got the momentum going on both sides of the ball and kind of picked the team up.
The rhythm was much better tonight between snapper, placement, and kicker, huh?
A lot better. I think that was the first game we all, we had 2 new guys there in the operation, and they had the first game jitters and stuff, and first game for me back again, and what you saw tonight was just 2 weeks of real hard work, a lot of reps and practice, and just going out there with a lot of confidence and not doubting ourselves from 2 weeks ago, and just going out there like it's a brand new game.
We can't go out like this next week against Texas and expect Jim to come in and kick field goals for us. We've got to put some points on the board, and 7 points instead of 3. So we've got to work on that. The execution is all it is. When we get down there, we just got to want it enough to get it in the end zone.
The big play came when I wasn't looking for it. So
you're trying to make the first down, huh?
Yeah, I was just trying to make the first down. The guys up front just blew a big hole. You could have ran a truck through it. All I had to do was walk and go through the hole.
That's the way they come sometimes, huh?
Yes, sir, it is. Got adrenaline flowing, felt pretty good.
Walter Tate comes back. Has this front got a chance to be first class?
I think we'd be pretty good. If everybody come together and correct the mistakes they made tonight and play together more as a team and execute everything that's supposed to be done.
We're really excited about going to Austin. They're a great running team, and I myself am going to enjoy that a lot because once again I get to make a lot of plays. As a defense, we know we got to get better. We're learning and we're working hard, and I think it's going to show next week.
Nearly 82,000 on a warm night at Jordan-Hare saw the Tigers stop themselves on a fumble on their first possession, then get back up on a poor fielding job on a punt at the 4. And now with good field position, Ole Miss is driving for a touchdown.
I wouldn't say it was a good night for football because it was hot and humid, but we had a great crowd and sold all the tickets, and we had some of our students still weren't here because we were still in between semesters. But that quarterback, Childs, does a good job in that. And I thought their running backs did an excellent job of running the football, and the offensive line did a good job of opening nice holes in there. I think that Ole Miss is going to get better as an offensive football team.
There's a big tight end.
Yes, he did an excellent job for them last night. But we came up with the plays necessary on defense, and I'm mighty proud of our defensive football team. And we should get better and better as the year goes along because we got a lot of young folks playing defense. And they run the option, and of course they hurt us with it. Now they tried a kind of a shoestring play here on the extra point and to go for 2 and don't convert. And there's Orlando Parker. Boy, welcome to college football, Orlando. I tell you, I was just as proud of him as I could be just to not fumble the ball and get up, because I tell you, that guy hit him. As Stan throwing to Reed McMillan, and Reed had another good, solid performance last night, and Stan gets a little pressure, does a great job right there getting rid of the football to Herbert Casey, and pick up a nice first down out around the 50-yard line. And I don't think there was any time last night that we didn't move the football. We just didn't move it when we had to move and get it in close. That was
here's a fourth down right here.
Fourth down play coming up right here, and we come up about 4 inches short. and 4 inches is the difference between winning and losing a lot of times when you're trying to make a first down and keep a drive alive, particularly on 4th down. There's an excellent play by Alex Thomas, and looked like our secondary played good again last night. They
Ashley on
came
a
with
delay here.
some big plays. This is a great play right here by Corey Barlow to save this touchdown, and we later intercept the pass. But you know they got back into the play after coverage, and we had big play right there by John Wilson, and front getting a little pressure on Showers and had a screen pass. And right here's the big play where Fred Smith is, and we're going to enjoy watching Fred play for 3 more years at Auburn. He's just a terrific football player and unselfish guy, a hard-nosed little fella, and I say little, he's 185 pounds.
I think that turned the game around, don't you, Chris?
Well, it had a lot to do with winning, and I can tell you that. That's Joe Frazier again running. It's Reed McMillan running inside behind Eddie Blake and Tim Tillman and Bob Meeks and Chris Gray and Wayne Gandy and Anthony Redmond. And as Stan hitting our tight end, well, our tight ends caught 7 balls last night. That's Victor Hall there.
He had 4.
And
5.
We're getting down, throwing catch to Dale Overton. And, you know, I could see our people flying around downfield, trying to get to them.
This is a good long drive.
As, again, Stan hitting Herbert Casey on a little under route. Picked up a first down, and Jim Von Wild will get down again and can't move it in, which that is a bad personality trait to have. When you get it in the 4 down zone, you got to get hungry, and you got to smell it, and you got to get it in. Cherokee Cunningham and Alonzo Etheridge.
This is a 3rd and 5 here.
Is Alex Thomas and Randy Hart push him out of bounds. There's Darrell Crawford on the sideline. Looked like Darrell had a good game. This is run the reverse right here with Orlando Parker. And good block over there by Victor Hall. This is a nice run by Otis Mounds here. Good blocking. You can't see it in here.
I think Orlando got a block.
Orlando Parker, and I think that Thomas Bailey got a good block. But anyway, it made a 25 or 30-yard run down to around the 5-yard line. But again, we don't get it in, and we miss a field goal. We were tied the game. Excellent pressure right there, John Wilson, and entire middle of the line, Tim Cromartie and Richard Shea, and has an excellent play and a great interception by Corey Barlow.
But Auburn gives it back on a turnover after this play.
So Ole Miss has got the ball again. Good pressure, and Reggie Barlow makes a big play on the pass. This is the punt return right here for the touchdown.
Watch the move.
Great block right there. That's a good block by Peener. Good block by right there by, I'm not sure who that was.
I think it was Fred Smith. Huh?
No, well, that's Fred Smith, but Alex Thomas, Corey Barlow. Let's see, there was another one as Alex, as Chad Muhlenberg. I want to see who made that one right. That's Fred Smith, I guess, right there.
I think so.
And Dennis Wright makes a key block, and Alex Thomas sprints down and gets in position. He made the whole run with him and just did a great job on the thing, and that's what it takes, teamwork, and everybody playing to win on that down. And wasn't but 20 seconds left to go in the half, and you know, if we don't score on the punt return, we're probably not going to score. Might have got a chance to kick a field goal or whatever, but it was a big play in the ball game, and you could see the effort of a you know, not only Thomas Bailey that ran the thing back for a touchdown, and certainly couldn't have done it without him. But
a lot of starters in there on that kick return team.
Well, we had the block call originally, and you know, we rushed the kicker, we just bumped him, and they got a 5-yard penalty. And they had a kind of a shank punt and called it back and kicked it again. And Tommy Ray actually talked me into, you thought we ought to return it. And I had told him we want to block it, and then I changed my mind at the last second. Chad Muhlenberg had to run up down the line out there to tell everybody that we were changing from the block to the return, but we got it communicated, and it turned out to be the big play in the ball game.
Such are the way big plays happen. We'll be back in just a minute. David Housel's book, From the Desk of David Housel, all about Auburn football, is now in its second printing, and you can get yours. Here's the easy way to get it. You can write for it. Write to Auburn Stories, care of the Auburn Network, P.O. Box 351, Auburn 36831-0351, enclosed $9.95 plus $3.25 for shipping and handling. Make a good Christmas present. I know it'll make old David Housel happy, too. We'll be back now for the third quarter, the 10-point third quarter, in just a minute. Auburn will now take charge and score on 3 of its first 4 possessions.
We had to kick off to Ole Miss. They won the toss at the beginning of the ball game and chose to let us play defense first. We start off right here good to John Wilson and Tim Cromartie and Richard Shea, and there's a big play right there by Reggie Barlow, knocking the pass down, containment, good pressure. We had contained that quarterback pretty good. There's a great play right there by Richard Shea and John Wilson. Richard caused a fumble, and we don't come up with it, but it was a big loss and kept them from getting a big gainer. As Stan throwing to Joe Frazier, and we don't make a first down here and have to punt. That's Terry George, walk-on punter, and you're going to see excellent coverage here. Excellent play. Duncan Castleberry as
39-yard punt.
Brian Brainsworth down there, snapper, and as Chucky Johnson. So we're playing several folks inside there, and I'm glad we are. As they fumble here, and Darryl Crawford comes up with it. Richard Shea and Chucky and James Willis, they're all in there on the play. We take this one down and kick a field goal, and I guess what the score is 13-6. Now it's a 7-point game. There again, they make a big play as Fred Smith back in the backfield, and then Ricky Sutton finishes him off.
3rd and 10 right here.
Good pressure. React to the screen good, and Shiles overthrows him, and we take over. Here's Stan throwing to Reed McMillan. We end up with a 2nd and 4.
3rd and 4 coming.
Is this 3rd and 4?
3rd and 4.
3rd and 4.
Remember, he's just trying to make the first down.
Right, and there's a good block by Tim Tillman and Reed McMillan, and Bob Meeks kind of shielded that safety off and made him run around him, and Joe took it 59 yards. Who's our tight end there? Is that Fred Baxter, tight end? And
I can't remember running that long.
Chris Gray at left tackle, and there's a big play in the ball game. 59 yards, and I believe that's the longest run we've had from a tailback since Brent Fullwood left Auburn, isn't it?
I think so, Coach.
James Joseph went 80-something yards on a pass play, but I believe that was a great play by Corey Barlow and James Bostic. James is a true freshman from Dillard High School. Has a nice play by James Willis, getting the quarterback on the option. A good play, Chucky Johnson and Darryl Crawford.
Reggie Barlow. They have to punt again.
Come back, and as Stan again hitting Reed McMillan out in the flat, and we kept throwing the same little old pass route and hitting Victor Hall again for 11 or 12 yards.
Same drive in the 4th quarter.
Dan did a good job of scrambling several times last night. He breaks containment, gets out, makes the first down, gets out of bounds, and that's what we coach him to do. Either get out of bounds or get on the ground.
After a penalty, it's 3rd and very long here.
There's a great throw and catch. A great catch by Pedro Cherry, goes right down on the ground and gets it. And good running inside by Tony Richardson.
For the first down.
and then we kicked a long field goal here, kicked a field goal here from about the 15, 20-yard line and go up 23-6. Now, I thought right here we were, I thought that we had taken control of the game, but Ole Miss comes back and showed the kind of class that they got and took this drive and went 92 yards for a touchdown, and which is a credit to the Ole Miss football team and players and coaches and the kind of football program they got. Our defense right here, of course, you can see in the early part of the drive, did a good job, but...
And so the final is 23-13. We'll be back in just a minute. Texas from Austin next Saturday night. Game kicks off a little after 6:30. Auburn Network on the air at 5 o'clock. We will see you back Sunday with Pat Dye's comments. Thank you.
Sound here, Tim. But you know what? That's what it's all about, man. I mean, as the guy goes out there, and I don't know how many stitches he's going to have. He's going to have several, but here you couldn't keep him off the field. And I'm gonna tell you what. I'm damn proud to coach him. I know you proud to have him as a teammate, but there's a lot more of you in here just like him. That's right. Go back to Alabama.
Welcome to the Auburn Football Review. Auburn hung on last night in Austin to beat the Texas Longhorns 14-10, and young Lewis McDonald was so impressed he came down to be with his granddad this morning.
I didn't realize we were holding on.
Well, I realized it.
Oh goodness! But it was a great night for our football team and coaches, and I tell you, I don't know how many we had. What, 10,000 fans out there?
And were they drained?
And I'll tell you, they were drained, but they did a tremendous job, and I'm so proud of them but all our people, and it was a great win for us, and on the road and that kind of environment, and played a highly motivated Texas football team that I knew we would be playing, had their backs against the wall, but you look at this tape tonight, and I'm sure all the Auburn folks saw it last night on television, and it's just a great win for us. But the effort and the intensity that the game was played, and I just hope we can grow, from it, and we will. We're still not a complete football team by any means, but we've made progress, and we might have slipped backwards a little bit in the kicking game last night in some areas, but we got to get that doctored up and still haven't scored when we get the ball in the 4-down zone, and there are some things that we've got to do better to have a championship caliber football team. But the heart and soul and the spirit, I think, is there, and we just need to get these other things taken care of.
All right, watch this, Lewis. We're going in the dressing room to talk to the players now. You got to learn learn to keep that helmet on some way there, buddy.
I don't know what it was. I broke about 4 chin straps tonight, and I don't know if I was playing hard or just something wrong with the chin strap, but it come off about 2 or 3 times. And I went for the fumble, and next thing I remember getting up and not quite knowing where I was at. But, I seen they had the ball. All I wanted to do is get my head together, back off the field.
Last week you were congratulating your buddies on those interceptions, and now you caught them in one night.
Well, the front line did a great job. The linebackers putting pressure on them. I mean, it all started up front. Great coverage by the rest of the guys, and it just made my job a lot easier.
The coaches, I got to give them all the credit because they called the perfect coverage, and we was in Fox, and I'm rolled up. And, just a pass, I just had to break up on the ball, and they threw the ball right to me.
Suddenly, you're the receiver.
Yes, I just had to catch the ball and get to the end zone. I'm just proud of the team. I think people are going to start recognizing we got a lot of heart over here, and we're playing as a team. No individuals, just laying it on the line. And I'm just proud of everybody on this team.
We took some of the things they said about us in the paper, which is kind of personal, and want to show them that we ain't as soft as they think we are.
Overall, I think the best thing was we played hard, and we got after them. I think that's what done it for us.
It's a great example of guys coming together and giving their all for the team. I don't think it was a selfish guy out there on the field tonight, and I'm glad to be a part of a team like this.
I think we proved to some people tonight that we can play, as well as Auburn defenses have in the past.
What does this give you to coach next week when you come on the road and hang like this?
I think it gives our kids a lot of faith in themselves, which we need. We needed the faith, and they got it now.
Well, grandson Lewis will be eating those Ziegler meats here before long. He's coming along.
I eat them, so if he's at my house, he'll eat them. It was a great night for football, and temperature wasn't much wind blowing, and there's some of the Texas fans, and doesn't take us long right after we kicked this ball, and we had a good plan last night all the way around, and we just had some near misses that would have made it a great night for us offensively. As Thomas Bailey run the kickoff back out to the 40-yard line and gives us great field position to start the game. We come right off, bootleg pass, hit the tight end. Fred Baxter right down the middle for about 20, 25 yards, whatever. Come back and run the reverse to
now they got him hemmed
Orlando
up and
Parker.
He just runs around him.
Well, he can motor. And then Stan hits Victor Hall with a crossing route, and Victor stretches the ball and gets it in the end zone, and we go out in front in less than a minute, and I guess actually 3 plays here.
He really tiptoes down.
Great fake up inside right there by Joe Frazier, and he's turning back inside to that pursuit and gets the ball in the end zone, and we up 7 to. Jim Von Wyatt comes in and kicks the extra point. We up 7 to nothing. That's a great running back, had not, and I think that's the longest run he made for the night right there, 7 yards, and stopped by James Willis, and that was James Willis again, and Chucky Johnson, and Ricky Sutton, and Darryl Crawford. There's a little quarterback. Watch this right here. You're not going to see that people fall forward much. There's Tim Cromartie and Benny Pierce. And
3rd and 6.
Darryl Crawford. There's James Willis again making a nice play.
Comes another good return.
Thomas Bailey gets we need to probably take a little more pride in our blocking in some areas, and because if he can get the ball caught and hit it upfield, he's pretty fun to watch.
Auburn failed to move on that position. Texas with the ball again.
That's Jason Merchant, and there's 2 of our people going to the football and end up hitting each other and breaking it up and force them to punt again.
Watch this play. This is amazing.
Well, that guy thought he was going to fair catch it, I'm sure, and just got too close. Thomas probably should have fair caught the ball.
Good field position again.
Good field position, and Joe Frazier ran hard again last night, and our offense, we struggled at times some and didn't make some critical plays, and as Reed McMillan making a nice run inside, this right here is inexcusable. That penetration right up the front and middle of our line, and they block a Look at Eddie Blake coming on top of that pile.
They complete a pass on a blown coverage, and now they're at the 12-yard line, but Auburn's going to stop.
Well, this is a big series of downs right here, and we get pressure. There's Chucky Johnson and James Willis, and I'm not sure who the other one was right there.
More 3rd and 8 right here.
There's Walter Tate. Walter had some big plays in the ball game last night, and Walter's teammates are glad to see him back.
Ziegler misses a field goal.
Has Reed McMillan. Again, you can just see the determination in playing, and I was excited about it. Texas comes up with a big 3rd down play right there. That middle linebacker don't think that, that front, they know something about playing football too.
Here comes the big play.
As Coach Dennis and Coach Hall had the right perfect coverage and just make a big play, we roll the corner up and disguise it.
Which means he has help deep. So
it means he help deep, but he disguises it, makes him think he's playing a deep 3rd, and he's actually playing a roll-up corner. And Corey Barlow intercepts it and runs it in the end zone. And right now, in my opinion, there's not a better cornerback that I've seen anywhere. Look at that. That's Fred Smith. Fred Smith and Mike Pelton and Alonzo Etheridge, and there's Alonzo on that tackle. And Richard Shea played good last night. There's Chucky Johnson again with Alonzo. Look at him having a good time. Big old smile on Chucky's face.
In the second
quarter,
quarter
Ricky Sutton right there getting pressure, and John Wilson bats the ball down.
He does that often. Auburn gets called for a holding penalty and can't move on the next drive. Now it's Texas again.
Look at that. There's a fine hit right there, and a big play by Alex Thomas and Anthony Judge. Knocked the ball loose from him. Pressure. Now you're going to see the corner come up and make a tackle on Gardier. And
their next possession.
They come with a little different tempo right here, and they put Saxton in at quarterback, and he's more of a runner and option quarterback, and just kind of gets us off balance for a little bit. And there's Richard Shea making the tackle downfield. And here they go, and Saxton scores, and we have a missed assignment, and they do a good job executing the option and run it in for the touchdown. It's 14-7 at halftime.
And we'll be right back. Let's need your help now. They want to set another record at Jordan-Hare Stadium. They want the world record at the Auburn, Florida game for the largest number of identical T-shirts worn at one event. You got that, Coach?
I have, and the little girl that came to me with the idea, she's excited about it, and Tigerette's excited about it, but I'm really excited about it because if it's going to be a white T-shirt with a little something written on it, but if it might be the difference of us winning and losing the Florida game, and we can, when they come in there and they see a solid white stadium, it could be a show of unity among the Auburn people, and I'm going to tell you something. We need a home field advantage when we play Florida, because they certainly got one when we play down in Gainesville.
Right. Reason enough, and the T-shirts will be on sale. They're $10, and the proceeds will go to charity. We'll be back for the second half in just a minute. Possession, you're going to see some defense in this half.
The second half, defensively, I thought we just kept coming, and they make a nice play right here. And they have two big plays in this second half. That's a good open field tackle by Fred Smith. Watch this right here. Texas is a big, strong offensive football team also, and they kind of get us a little high there. We come up with a big hit and a big fumble recovery on. The hit was and the called fumble was Walter Tate, and Benny Pierce came up with the recovery.
Auburn is able to run the football and use time off the clock in this half, and that.
Well, you know, there's a big play right there with Stan hitting Reed McMillan. It was 3rd and 3 or 4 or something.
3rd and 3, yeah.
But you know, our offensive line, I don't know how we graded anything, but I just thought that there's a throwback to the quarterback, and if we could have got the thing executed a little better, we might have scored with that. But, and I say executed, Corey Lewis did a great job of getting the ball off. Then we running right here, and that guy, there's the play where Tim Tillman got his hat knocked off and cut his nose and his eye, and you know, kind of shook him up there for a minute. As Richard Shea and Carrick and Cunningham playing a lot of people on defense, and that's always good. And that's Reggie Barlow, and I think Reggie played one of his better ball games last night. I don't know, it's pressure, and they asked Carrick and Cunningham again, along with James Willis, and
they have to punt, but a series of 3 downs and out for Auburn through here.
That's a good right there, and that's Ricky Sutton. Look at that hit out of, well, I started to say out of bounds, but it was right on the boundary. As Carrick and Cunningham, good pressure from inside right there, and that was John Wilson and Carrick and Cunningham coming on the pass rush. And
their next possession now.
You know, it's just look at that right there. That's what you want to get.
There's a lot of hats around that ball.
I'm telling you, that is discouraging. That is discouraging to the running backs and to the opposition when you can get that many people around the football and that many people hitting them. And they get it in close a couple of times, and 2nd and 10 here. This is a big play in the ball game. That guy tips it up, and Alex Thomas comes up with the interception, and Alex gets another one later. But Alex had some big hits in the ball game, and Alex is an outstanding young man and a fine leader for us. And
still in the third quarter.
This is probably the most important offensive series we had, and the offense did a great job right here getting the ball off the goal line. There's Chris Gray and Fred Baxter and Chris Gray and Gandy and Tim Tillman and Eddie Blake and Bob Meeks. And, you know, they just come off the football right there, and we get the ball off the goal line. Here they come back and fumble. About an 8-yard loss.
2nd and 18 now. Fourth quarter.
They had, you know, when you got people flying around to the football right there, you can make a mistake and somebody's going to cover up for it, just pure effort. As another big play. Went to the well one time too many, and Alex Thomas made the interception.
Auburn makes a couple of first downs, but another penalty stops them, and now this is their next possession of the fourth quarter.
That was Chucky Johnson again. There's a fumble right there that we don't come up with. I believe that was Walter Tate calls that one.
3rd and 4 here.
Carrick and Cunningham's in there. 3rd and 4, big play. Darryl Crawford. A lot of defensive folks around the ball over there, Richard Shea and Ricky Sutton. They punt again, and Thomas Bailey again gives us excellent field position. Big play right there, and puts the ball down at that 34, 5-yard line.
2nd and long.
Good running by Reed McMillan. Reed and is again
good first down.
Joe Frazier and
miss a field goal though.
Right. We missed enough field goals to win the football game. As Benny Pierce and Chucky, and I'm so proud of Chucky Johnson. I don't know what to do. I mean, you know, and as a quarterback keeping the ball, and I think it was our quarterback, and paying the price for keeping it.
They kick a field goal.
Chucky's one of those guys that you know, it's tough on him to keep his weight down, but he's worked as hard as anybody on our football team to to be a football player. And there's Joe running up inside again and running hard. Reed McMillan.
This is a critical time.
I mean, coming down the stretch right here, every yard is important. Every first down is important. Every second on the clock is important between the winning and losing. Here's a nice run and a big play by Alex Smith. And
force them to use their last 2 timeouts during this drive.
They used all their timeouts, and our backs are running hard, and we take this ball and drive it and get down. And we could have kicked to the field goal from about the 20-yard line, and I decided that we'd rather run the clock, and they had no timeouts, and instead of kicking it to field goal.
We'll be back. Just 1 minute. Auburn versus Tennessee in Knoxville. Need we say more? Kickoff is at 6:38. The Auburn Radio Network on the air at 5 p.m., and we'll see you next Sunday. Thank you, Coach.
Here's your forecast for the remainder of this morning.
Where's Thomas at? Come here, buddy.
Come on, Brown Tom. Come on, Tom.
Have him out a little bit there, Reggie.
Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
It's a great win for you. Now, don't take anything away from that now, man. It is a great, great win for you. To come in here and we're not at our best, and to come from behind and win in the fourth quarter like you did, and you just think about what we talk about. The kicking game set it up. The offense got the points on the board, put us ahead, and the defense went back out there and kept them out of field goal range. So it's a family affair. If you will develop the personality that you played the last 15 minutes with, then that's what it's all about, man. Now, I realize that we had some big plays, scored some points, but I'm talking about where you go out there and you're fighting for your life, where every down is a big down. Every play on offense is a big play. And that's the kind of emotion that was on the sideline. That's the kind of emotion was out there with the coaches, players, managers, everybody out there. And that's the reason you came back and won the football game.
This.
And welcome to the Auburn Football Review. Coach, the Tigers gave the fans another one of those full value games last night in Nashville.
Well, I just watching my comments in the dressing room after the ball game. I don't know how I could say it and sum it up any better than that. And that's kind of where we are as a football team right now. We're not playing that emotional football for full 60 minutes, and we're not good enough to play without it. We're not good enough to beat Vanderbilt without it, and we're not even close to beating some of these teams we got to play in the last 5 games without having total emotion and giving everything we got on every down, and every down's a big one, and that's the way it's fun to play the game. And if we can ever get that across and ever get that done, then I think that this football team has got a chance.
Let's go in the dressing room now and talk to some of the guys who figured into that final few exciting seconds of the game. That return was manna from heaven, wasn't it?
Well, yes, this is a great feeling, knowing that, your team needs great field position at the time that, we got down there. And I'm glad that I got us down there. And thanks again, I like to thank my punt return team for help blocking and setting up the wall for me.
What were your mental processes there for the last one?
I just tried to relax, just go out there and think to myself, I've been in this situation a bunch of times last year, and I've been under a lot of pressure, and I didn't really feel any pressure. Just a regular old, business-like kick for me. Every kick's the same, and that's the way I tried to approach it.
What can you take with this and do with it?
Well, you can take it and go. That's what we're going to do. We're going to move forward. A win's a win. I think Baylor would take it today, and, Syracuse would take this today. We knew Vanderbilt coming in here would be fighting hard because, they lost big to Alabama last week, and they were going to fight hard for 60 minutes. And, we got to keep on working and just build from it. We're looking at this as the beginning of a new season for us.
It was a lot tougher than we thought. You can tell that by the way we came out and played in the first 3 quarters. We had the attitude in the locker room, but we just didn't take it out into the field.
You think this fighting for your life will help you?
I think so. I think it made us grow up a lot tonight.
What I did was just as good as a sack. I caused him the incomplete pass and made a 4th down and tried to kick a field goal. So I look at it, that was a ball game, and the pressure knocking the ball and knocking him was just as good as a sack to me. They had a great quarterback. We weren't expecting him to be out there. We were expecting the other guy, really. But it don't make no difference. We had a lot of breakdowns, and he hurt us. He hurt us very bad. When people who were supposed to take the quarterback didn't take him, and he just hurt us really bad.
What do you think this battle for your life will do for you?
It gives us a sense of respect that when we are behind, we can come back and win the game. I think tonight was a great example of that. We got behind late, and Vanderbilt was playing a great game, but you can tell the offense picked it up and the defense picked it up, and we came out on top in the end.
Breezy night in Music City.
Well, it was a good night for football, except it was a little wind, but not enough to really have that big effect on the game itself.
You won the toss and took the football, which is a little different.
Well, we talked about it, and we've done both this year at times, and as Thomas Bailey bring it out of the end zone, and of course he's had some big plays for us this fall, and that was a big one there, and he had some big ones, a big one later on. Alex Smith started at tailback in Teapot Brown, and his Otis Mound's running. Electron, we'd planned to play Electron last night, and pulled a muscle in his back, warming up. And
Drive stalls here.
We take it down and got the ball at the 33-yard line. It's a little out of field goal range. It's a little, thinking in terms of trying to get first down and going in. We didn't make it and come back on defense. And as John Wilson and Mike Pelton, looked like Mike Pelton made some plays last night. And
he led everybody in tackles.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, I knew he was around the football a lot. Here's a big play for Vanderbilt. We got some missed tackles, and they do a good job with it. There's a missed tackle right there. And like I said, they do a good job with it, and we finally run him down and tackle him about the 1-yard line. And they take it in for a touchdown and go up 7-0.
This is exactly what they needed to get into the game.
Well, we did some good things both sides of the ball last night, but we didn't put them away when we had an opportunity, and it was 21-7, and we just an immature football team in a lot of ways. As Fred Smith and Alonzo Etheridge, Alonzo hurt something last night. I'm not sure exactly what it was, his knee. And as Mike Pelton again, along with Anthony Abrams and Willie Whitehead's in there.
But you're hearing a lot of names gone deep into your.
Well, we're playing a lot of people, and of course there's Thomas Bailey again on the punt return, and Stan rolling out and throwing and hitting Dale Overton. Dale makes a nice little move and gets it down. Picks up a key first down. It's 3rd and
down to the
long.
27.
Here's Otis Mounds again. That's Herbert Casey out there blocking, and Chris Gray and Victor Hall. And
almost.
That's Fred Baxter taking it to the 1. and Teapot's going to score from here. That's Chris Gray leading him up inside behind Fred Baxter and Anthony Redmond.
Missed the extra point. We're in the second quarter now.
That was a key play right here. That was a fourth down play where we stopped them right in the middle of the field and again gave us field position and stopped them on a big play. This is a great play right here. Great effort by Alex Smith. It was 3rd and 27. And rather than take a chance on throwing it up and turning it over down on our end of the field, we decided to run it, and we were planning just going to run it and then punt it. And Alex turns it into how long was this run?
73 yards.
73-yard touchdown run. And of course, Alex has got the ability to make this kind of run as far as his overall speed, and it was big. And
2-point conversion coming now.
We come back and Otis Mounds runs the ball in on a 2-point conversion, and it's 14-7. And you know,
you make 2 points and you stop them twice on 2-point conversion.
Well, those
the difference in the game.
Those were big plays. Here's a big play. Another one. Mike Pena intercepts the pass and had the guy on the post right open. Mike did a great job of playing the football. Comes back and then makes a great return with it. And we have a 15-yard penalty here with a young player getting somebody out of late or out of bounds or something. And as Teapot running the draw down to around the 25-yard line, and we overcome that 15-yard penalty. We had 3rd and 25, and Stan hitting Victor Hall. I don't know how many balls our tight ends caught last night, but they were certainly an important part of the
Stan completed 10
game.
passes and 9 different receivers caught balls.
And Stan pulling the ball down and running it to around the 2 or 3 yard line.
Nifty piece of running coming right here, Coach.
And that's Reed McMillan, and of course Reed didn't work much this week, and they really didn't know whether he was going to play, and we'd have loved to have not had to play him, but as it turned out, we had to. As Reggie Barlow and Randy Hart and Tim Cromartie, and as Mike Pelton, Fred Smith. And, you know, we make some nice defensive plays, and Wilson, that quarterback, is an outstanding runner. And nice play by Alex Thomas. But they take it down and kick a field goal, and at halftime it's 21-10.
And we'll be back.
We got a football game.
And it is going to be a football game. We'll be back in just a minute. Year of 1992. So be watching for information concerning all of the events surrounding this centennial celebration. It's going to be a great year, Coach.
Well, we've got great tradition with the outstanding men that have led Auburn's football program over the years, starting with Dr. Petrie back in 1892, and Heisman and Donahue and Coach Jordan, and you know that's where all the tradition is created.
I'm impressed with your knowledge of the history of Auburn, Coach. We'll be back in just a minute. Vanderbilt has the ball to open the third quarter. Penalties are really going to hurt you.
Good penetration, and Ricky Sutton back in there making something happen. And there's Benny Pierce, and Benny made some big plays in the game last night.
Their second possession here after a 15-yard penalty stopped Auburn.
We didn't do a very good job of containing the quarterback. Here's a play right here that Benny Pierce makes, and that runs the guy down and pushes him out of bounds, and Benny can run for a big guy. They do a good job of running the option, and you know, when you don't work against that thing, it's quarterback draw, and Richard Shea makes a big play, and could have been a big difference in the ball game right there.
Stop him on the 2-point try.
Where had they made it, then you know a field goal wouldn't have wanted to end. As Alex Thomas again. Alex Smith, and makes a nice run, gets back off the goal line.
Holding penalty stops the drive. Here they go the other way.
There's good pressure by Mike Pelton, and that guy makes a great catch on a key third down play, and
Here comes another third down play.
Again, that quarterback just made the plays, and here's a come on the screen pass, and there's a missed tackle. Finally, Fred Smith and Darrell Crawford bring him down. And they're going to take this one in to score. And there again, that quarterback is very elusive. We don't contain on the backside. He pulls the ball down and runs about 20, 25 yards.
Most of his yardage was running out of the pocket and breaking containment.
And they do a good job right there with the snap count. Quarterback pulls it down, turns it into a touchdown for them, and they go up 22-21 and they go for 2 here, and we make another big play as Ricky Sutton again. They load him trying to get outside, and Ricky comes in there and creates a disturbance, and we end up getting a quarterback, stopping him for making the 2.
Fourth quarter now. They have the ball early.
And we right here, every down, every inch is big, and as a great interception, you know, great players have a tendency to make great plays when you need them the most, and there's Corey Barlow is having a great year for us, comes up with a big interception.
His third of the year.
And they stand throwing to. Now, I want y'all to watch this whole scenario here now. Number 81 comes out of there with the football. The officials are looking at it. The officials are looking at it, and watch Frank Sanders hand the ball to the official.
They're still looking.
And they're still looking in the pile-up. Now, how they can give the ball to Vanderbilt on that situation is beyond me. I mean, they have spotted a ball that you can't see down there. I don't know what would you call it, a ghost?
I don't know.
As
big play by
John Wilson again coming up with a big play. As Fred Smith,
he gets a yard out of that.
Creating a disturbance, and we're getting good pursuit. And
it was
Benny Pierce, and goodness, we tackle him with every way known to man, and just getting there.
Auburn moved the ball in this period well.
Well, as Stan White throwing to Fred Baxter, a big play, puts the ball down around the 32 or 3 yard line. Here's Reed McMillan making a tough 5 or 6 yards down inside the 15. And as Joe Frazier we planned to try to hold Joe out of the ball game, he comes back, but we get stopped right here on another key third down play. We don't come up with necessary yards, keep a drive alive. We go for the field goal, and well, but anyway, we miss a field goal, and then
gotta hold him again.
That's right. We come back on defense, and we got to take the ball. Now we end up using timeouts.
Have to use timeout there on 3rd and 5.
And there's Mike Pelton making another big play, and Tim Cromartie, and stop him. And this is the big play of the ball game, in my opinion, right here. And it comes off the kicking game. Thomas Bailey fields the ball, makes one guy miss him, got a good block, great block right there by Alvin Nash. And he puts the ball back on the 32-yard line with about, 3 minutes to go in the game.
3:09 left.
And here we take it down, and would like to take this one on in the end zone, but Joe Frazier picks up a first down on the counter. Makes a nice run here. We're getting the ball down close, and the last thing I told the offensive coaches, my input last night was, if we don't make a first down, let's make sure we get it sunnered up. which they did, and come back on defense right now. They still got time to move it down and get a field goal, and they make a nice play right here to the wide receiver. And
50 seconds now.
Run the draw, and there's Walter Tate. And Chucky Johnson is out there, and Chucky, you can see he's limping, and there's great pressure by John Wilson. Forces him to make a bad throw and knocks the ball down. And
55-yard attempt.
55 yards, and we're I'm mighty happy to get out of there with a win, and it was Vanderbilt played an outstanding football game.
Sure did.
You know, when you play against a bunch of kids that you've watched them and have some hard luck and hard times, you know, even though you're on the other side, you wish sometimes that, you know, they get more out of it than they're going to get. But I'm mighty happy for our players. We had a lot of things go against us in the ball game and a lot of things we did ourselves to make it hard on us. So it was a great win and a tough, you know, it wasn't a real big crowd there. And, you know, it was the 5th week in a row that we've had tough football games. And goodness, we need this open date to kind of rest up and heal up.
We'll be back in just a minute. The Tigers have a much-needed off week next week to heal up. They will play Mississippi State in 2 weeks, and as it stands now, it is a 1:30 kickoff for homecoming 2 weeks hence, and the Auburn Radio Network will be on the air at 12 noon. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Congratulations, Coach, and good luck to you and the team, and I hope you all have a good, restful week. We'll see you next time.
Coach Dye's Apparel provided by Harwell's, with clothing stores in Birmingham, Montgomery, and other fine cities. This has been
From Virginia. He is the scout team quarterback, which means he runs the opponent's offense, usually the option, every week against Auburn's #1 defense, and he pays a dear price. Pat Dye calls him the toughest player on the squad. Yesterday, late in the Auburn-Southwestern Louisiana game, Danny, number 46, trotted onto the field, huddled his team, called the play, and for one memorable time, ran the Auburn offense. First and goal, Auburn at the 3.
You know the song?
You remember? I go along with everybody.
Well, get up there, One, two, three, four. War Eagles, never not, never give. War Eagles, on your head to go, on victory, stand up and you have, stand up there. Hey, War Eagles, win for Auburn, power, Dixieland.
Welcome to the Auburn Football Review. Yesterday, Danny Raines and the Auburn Tigers beat USL 50-7, Coach.
Well, it was
good.
It was, and it was like a good dose of medicine for that football team, because we got to play a lot of people that had worked so hard all year long and hadn't had the opportunity to play that much, and I think the way that we played the game was very significant in the fact that the football team has not given up, and I think the way we played yesterday is going to give us a chance in these last 2 remaining games. And when I say that, I mean we didn't turn the football over. We had big plays on the kicking game. We had big plays on defense. We had big plays on offense, and it was a big win for us. And I was very happy for our seniors, and you know, that played that last game at Jordan Hare Stadium. And this football team, regardless of whether we win one of the last 2 or not, is special to me, because, you know, they've hung right in there and gone through a lot of trying times this fall when, you know, they could have looked for excuses and fallen apart, and, you know, they've hung together and stayed together, and maybe something good is going to happen to them yet.
Maybe so. Let's go in the dressing room now and talk to that walk-on quarterback and some of the other guys who had big plays.
Yes, well, Coach Sullivan went over with me, you know, what the snap count was and, you know, just how he wanted it done. And I took a couple snaps with Craig Thompson just to get ready, you know, to make sure we had the snap right. And then I went out there.
I didn't see the play, but what happened?
It was a 32 option. We faked the dive over the right guard, and then the end took me, so I pitched it out to James Bostic, and he made a great run with it. He made a great run.
Fun, huh?
Yes, sir. He put it in the end zone for us. I had a lot of fun.
Big plays. Got a big block on the punt return.
Yeah, it's the biggest guy on our team. I just saw him. He didn't see me, so I went on and knocked him out.
And then on the onside
kick.
Yeah, well, Coach told us it was coming, so I just sat back and waited on it. It came straight at me. I felt like I was Raphael Belliard in there, just scooped it up.
This was fun today, huh?
This is the most fun I've had since I've been here today. We had a great time. All the walk-ons got to play. You saw Danny Raines pitch the touchdown out there in the fourth quarter, and a lot of guys got to play. It was just a lot of fun for me, for all the walk-ons to get in.
Carlos, tell me about your big play.
Well, it was a rollout pass, and Duncan tipped the ball, and I just saw it up in there. I ran up in there. I tried to score a touchdown, but I got caught. I couldn't get in.
Once we got going, man, the receivers today played great, I thought. And plus, we got the ball thrown to us a lot more than usual. And, I felt like that's what we could have done all year long if we'd gotten the ball to us a lot more. So.
Amazing what that guy can do with a little time.
That's right, exactly, man. This is the first time he wasn't getting put on his butt every day, every time.
I particularly liked the Mound touchdown where the line just flew in the end zone.
Oh, yes, sir. That was the best one. He called, I forgot what the play was, but we all just fired straight off the ball and just did it the Auburn way,
What'd you say? You got one, but you should have had two?
Yeah, I should have had two. The first one, I saw 6 points, so it went straight through my hands. But the second one, I read the play, and I just broke on the route, and the ball just hit me right in the hand. So,
A lot of hits today.
Oh, yeah, a lot of big hits. We were really frustrated, so I think we really took it out on them, and hopefully we can do the same thing next week.
That's the way the passing game is supposed to work?
I hope so. The passing game hadn't gone too well for us this year. A lot of it's been my fault. We've had missed assignments, mental breakdowns, but it seemed like the line did a really good job today of protection, and the backs and the receivers got out on routes and tight ends, and it just clicked for us today.
Only 50 degrees, a lot of wind.
Well, the thing, and we asked Pat Washington, one of our former outstanding players, and probably as fine a young man as we've had come through our program, and he's going to be a great football coach. And we knew that the crowd was going to be down and probably be a little bit on the dead side, but all of that to me played an important part in yesterday's game. There's a fine play by Corey Barlow, and if there's a better cornerback in the country right now than Corey Barlow, I haven't seen him. He's just a great player, playing great. Has a big lick right there by John Wilson, and you're going to see, I think we had as many big licks in the football game yesterday as we've had in a long time. As Richard Shea and Carrington Cunningham and John Wilson and Tim Cromartie.
This is their next series coming now. The defense just was not going to let them have anything.
Well, there's good pressure by James Willis, and there's Corey Barlow knocking the ball loose from him again. And Frankie Stankunas. Frankie had some big hits here again. There's Corey coming on pressure, and we get the ball at the 10-yard line after a mishandled snap on a punt. And it was a big day all the way around for Corey yesterday. He later blocks a punt, and I think he's blocked 4 or 5 kicks this year and got 4 or 5 interceptions and 1 back foot touchdown. Here's another one right here. There's Corey knocking the ball loose from him again. That's 2 called fumbles already in the ball game, and we blocked the punt and sacks him back there at the 10-yard line, so you can see what kind of day he had. There's a fine play by Alex Thomas. Alex had some big plays in the game, as did Darryl Crawford. There's a fumble. I'm not sure who caused it, but Frankie Stankunas came up with it.
I believe Carrington Cunningham. I'm not sure if that's...
Well, Carrington had some big plays, and Carrington's one of our leaders on defense, and that's Dan throwing to Herbert Casey. I think that kind of surprised him right there, and we throw the screen pass to Alex Thomas, and Alex picks up a key first down for us on this drive. We run this one in for a touchdown, and we get penalized 5 yards, and then we come back and throw it to Dale Overton.
Here's the touchdown play coming right here now.
Throw it to Dale Overton for the touchdown, and they had a blitz on, and we get the ball in there to make it 17-0.
10-0. And
Is it 10-0?
Yes, we put the score up too quick.
Well, 10-0. You can see what kind of contact, and there's Willie Whitehead, and Willie's a walk-on that I feel sure is going to be on scholarship in another year. There's Pressure by Benny Pierce and good coverage and big play by Alex Thomas again.
Here comes the block punt.
Block punt. You know, some people just have a knack. Of course, you got to have ability and you got to have courage. A lot of things you got to have, and there's Chris Jones coming in. A lot of things you got to have to block a punt, and of course, want to is the most important thing. And here's a fine play, throw and catch, a stand to Tony Russell for the touchdown. I guess that makes it 17 to nothing.
Right.
Good protection. And Stan looks him off and comes back to the post right on the backside, and it's there. And again, we're off to a good start. Here's a fine play by Tim Cromartie. Tim appeared in just looking at this TV thing that he played good yesterday. I haven't talked to the coaches yet. Great throw and catch by Frank Sanders, a freshman from Fort Lauderdale, and Frank made just an outstanding catch and good run, good job coming off the line by the offensive line right there, creating some running room. And as Ernest Wallace in that guard now, and of course that's Otis Mounds taking it in, and you just knock them back off the ball. And Bob Meeks and Wayne Gandy and Eddie Blake and Victor Hall. And
so the Tigers have a great second quarter and blow out to a 24-0 lead. We'll be back in just a minute. Great friend and a former great Auburn player early this past week, Billy Atkins, had a heart attack, passed away, I believe, on Tuesday, Coach.
Billy, you know, was of course a great player on the 57 team, and I don't know a lot about his playing days. I know he was an outstanding athlete, but I think even at that he was an overachiever. I know that. I think that Billy scored all the points in 4 shutout games, very close games that they had in 57. They kicked field goals, scored touchdowns to help them win. And
I got to know him when he was the coach at Troy State when they had that national championship.
You know, his Doris is from an Auburn family, and her brother played at Auburn, and Ace is on our football team now, the son. So, you know, they're just an Auburn family, and we'll all miss Billy.
We certainly will, and we'll be back to show you the second half of this exciting game in just a minute. Second half now, and the Tigers keep the pressure on.
The thing that you try to prevent from happening is a let up in the second half and getting sloppy. And you can see right now, you know, they're still having fun playing, and there's Alex Thomas making a big lick, and Corey Barlow is there, and we get the ball back on, and Stan makes it throw and catch to Fred Baxter. Fred had a big day catching the football, and we got, in my opinion, two as fine a tight ends as there is in our conference, and Victor Hall and Fred Baxter. And it seemed like yesterday Fred caught the passes, but Victor makes a great block, and they play so well and complement each other. Right here, throwing again on the sideline, and just. We got an awful lot out of them. As Tony Richardson running inside again, Greg Thompson played the whole second half yesterday. Bob Meeks had a little bit of a bruised thigh, and we just held him out. And of course, there's Chris Gray and Tim Tillman, and
watch Stan sneak around the side here now.
There's Teapot Brown. Teapot is a favorite among all the people. He's just kind of looks like a teapot, I guess. He's kind of short, but he's an outstanding student and a hard-playing young man. That's fine play by Mike Pelton on the give to the fullback, and Chucky Johnson and Ricky Sutton. As Randy Hart making a play on the quarterback. Fred Smith had a big day yesterday. As there comes pressure, and they hit us up inside with a quarterback draw. You're going to see it. And I'm amazed that he was able to get that solid a lick at an open field on that quarterback. They come with a second-string quarterback, and this is the only little lapse that we had on defense the entire day. And after the long run with the quarterback, they come back and hit the corner right for the touchdown. And they 31-7. They come back and onside kick it, and Chris Jones recovers it. We got the ball back out in midfield. Run the reverse here to Orlando Parker, and one of these days we're going to get that thing.
Here comes the block by Hall.
Anthony Redmond and Chris Holland, both in there here. We run a little sneak play to Fred back. We look at the block right there by Victor Hall. Pick up a key first down going into, I'm not sure we score a touchdown here or field goal. Kick a field goal. Coming in our ball game, and we still have a lot of respect for Southwest Louisiana's defense. They hadn't given up a lot of points, and they're just a good defensive football team. Here's some pressure, and run out of bounds by Mike Pelton.
Here comes the big punt return.
You're going to see a great block right here by several people. Good running as a good blocker. I'm not sure who that was right there with Chris Jones, and they're peeling back and getting them, and of course he makes some of them miss, and I don't know how many yards in returns Thomas Bailey had yesterday, but I would say that it was as good running by Joe Frazier, and it's 41-7, and you can see that's the way a football team, a good one, is supposed to be. The defense gets a ball, the kicking team sets up scores, and the offense takes it in. There's Richard Shea and Anthony Judge, Tim Cromartie, and
same drive, fourth quarter now. Interception coming.
This is a fine play by Clarence Morton. Clarence is from Maplesville, Alabama.
If he didn't get it, Pena would have.
There's Mike Pena, and of course we get the interception again, turn the ball over in good field position. There's Teapot on just a little give up inside, picks up a few yards. There's Jess Simpson. That was glad to see Jess get the chance to play yesterday and contribute, because he's hurt a lot early in the year, and since he's gotten over his injuries, he's been ready to play, and just have been in a situation where, you know, those guys that were not in the rotation just haven't had a chance to play. There's Carrick and Cunningham again. Oh, what a fine lick right there. Hang on. Don't leave your feet. Drive through them, hit to them. There's Dennis Wright and Willie Whitehead and Alonzo Etheridge. Anthony Judge is James Bostic.
Hannah at quarterback.
And Todd Boland in there, and Jeff Catullo at guard. And has a fine block out there then by Jess Simpson. And that's Shane Kiesler. I mentioned Ernest Wallace played yesterday, and Ernest is last two days. There's a bunch of guys right here that Carlo Thornton, and good pressure right here, and the ball is tipped by Duncan Castleberry and intercepted by Carlo Thornton, and Alvin Nash is in there, and Jason Merchant, and John Adams. John Adams is a senior walk-on that had the opportunity to play. And you're going to see right here the thrill of the day for everybody on our football team when Danny Raines goes in at quarterback and pitches the ball to James Bostic, and he's running options so much. I told the coaches on the sideline, they said, well, he doesn't know what to do. I said, he knows how to run the option, because he's been running the option all fall, and sure enough, he went out and took the ball and pitched it and ran it in the end zone for the touchdown.
And the final 50-7 will be like yesterday. Has to help the team. The dressing room was special. It seems like everybody came away with a really good feeling from this game.
Well, we've been close, you know, and the thing that was special to me was on the sideline, the feeling that the players had pulling for each other during the course of the game, and and then, of course, in the dressing room, you didn't see many selfish-looking people around there because they didn't get to play or didn't get the ball enough or whatever. And you know, if you play the game and you know, your opportunities are going to come. Sometime they come in this game, they may come in the next game, but sooner or later they're going to come. And if your attitude is like it should be, then you'll be ready to take advantage of it when it does come. And you know, the thing about yesterday is that I mentioned earlier that all three facets of the game contributed: the kicking game, defense, and offense. Didn't turn the football over and only had 20 yards in penalties, which is you know, it's harder to get a game played like that against a team that you're supposed to beat than it is sometimes an outstanding opponent, and should give us some momentum and confidence going into the Georgia game.
Auburn Radio on the air at 10 a.m. next Saturday. It'll be on WTBS. We'll see you then. Thank you.
Coach Dahl's appearance.
There ain't no way for me to express to you how proud I am of you. I ain't smart enough to put it in words. I never been in a football game I wanted to win any worse. And not winning it don't affect not one teeny bit of how I feel about you. Because of being around you and going through this football season and the things that you had to put up with when it wasn't, you had nothing to do with it. I'm going to be a better person because of it. I'm mighty proud of you seniors, and I hate mighty bad that we didn't win this one here for you tonight. We're going to put the program back up on top, man. It ain't going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of hard work. Coaches, players, pulling together. And it may be cost of grain with some of you. I hope not. But we got some folks in here that we can build around.
This is the Auburn Football Review.
Welcome to the Auburn Football Review. Another typically hard-fought battle at Legion Field yesterday, and Alabama won 13-6. Coach, what a battle! What a day!
Well, it was a classic Auburn-Alabama football game, and you know, the sad part about those games is somebody's got to lose.
That's right.
And I thought that our players played as hard and as good as we've played all year long. And you know, I'd like to congratulate Coach Stallings and his staff and his team on the outstanding season that they've had, and wish them well in the Blockbuster Bowl. And I hope that our players, you know, going through this year and the things that have happened during the course of the year, that they all are going to benefit from it, and because, you know, life is a series of ups and downs, and this has certainly been a down year for us from as far as our goals and, you know, trying to win and with the, you know, the distractions that we've had off the field. And of course I said it in the dressing room, and I say it again, that I've got tremendous respect for this football team and the fact that they just hung together, and I don't think that if they hadn't stayed together like they did, they'd have never been able to give the kind of effort they gave last night in order to just give themselves a chance to win. And we certainly had opportunities to win the football game last night.
And we will see some of those opportunities. They certainly have come through a lot of adversity, and there was a lot of affection and genuine caring in the dressing room last night. We talked to several of the seniors who tried to put into words how they felt.
Typical Alabama-Auburn game. They played hard, we played hard, and you know, had some things go their way, and we had some things go our way, and it's one of those things that happen. And my respect goes out to them and their players, and Auburn be back on top. We're not dead yet, and unfortunately it's my last one, and I'll never have another chance here at Auburn. But there's a lot of good guys here, and Auburn will be back. We'll be back where we belong on top.
I think you saw an Auburn team out there tonight that didn't quit. Guys just kept sticking it in there and kept giving it all they had, and that's what it's all about, being Auburn Tiger. Just keep fighting.
Appreciate all those fans coming out there, tell them to keep their heads up. We busted our butts as hard as we could. And this team's going to come yet. We got a lot of guts. I thank all our fans for coming out and supporting us. We will be back. I won't be back, but the Tigers will be back. This team's close, and through the thick and thin, we're still together. That we can't lose. We can't be, down at the bottom for a change, and that's something I never experienced, and I experienced this year, and it taught me that even though, everything didn't go as planned, we still handle ourselves for class. So any kind of adversity we face, we can handle it.
I feel like, the underclassmen, they learned something from us seniors. They learned how to be close together and never give up. And that's what we did tonight. We never did give up. I know what it's like to win, so I just hope in the future for the young guys. I hope things turn around for them.
They put it back together.
Oh yeah, I'll be there with them regardless. Yeah, it's been an interesting 5 years. I can't complain about anything. We've had our ups and downs here, and it's time for me to move on to another part of my life. And Auburn's gonna be here, and Auburn's gonna be strong, and I have a lot of faith in Coach Dow in the program.
It was certainly the homiest Legion field ever, with the lettering in the end zone and the Auburn logo in center field. Well, they 50-yard line center field.
Paul Connors and his staff went up and painted the field, and it was Legion Field is not home to us, but it's still an exciting place. As Tim Cromartie and John Wilson and Ricky Sutton, and we got around Barker all day long, and of course
6 sacks.
I got to believe, and I haven't talked to the coaches in grade, but I got to believe that our offensive line played pretty good, and I know that Joe Frazier was very physical running the football and against an outstanding Alabama defensive team. And
missed the field goal after this stuff.
But we moved the ball, early on, and there's Clarence Morton from Maplesville, Alabama, and fake reverse, come back, and there's James Willis. James is from up in Huntsville, and been playing with a hurt knee all year.
This is their next series.
As again, a lot of folks around the football, and Ricky Sutton ends up making the play, but had some help there. As Chucky Johnson, and Chucky actually a fumble. I'm not sure who caused that fumble, Phil, but Chucky Johnson showed a lot of courage just even playing in the game yesterday. He pulled his hamstring in practice on Tuesday, and again we come back and run straight at Alabama, and we just felt like it with the kind of speed they had that
tipped ball intercepted.
Right, we couldn't. As Fred Baxter coming back and making the tackle on the interception, and we just didn't feel like that we could finesse them. You just got to. The only way to deal with that kind of speed is to go right at it. So.
They had a 15-yard penalty there, and they're down close now.
As Tim Cromartie again with Darryl Crawford and tackling Saran Stacy, and there's a blitz coming, and as James Willis and
Stan
Kunis, and they kick the field goal and go up 3-0. And that's the end of the first quarter, and we've moved the football, and I'm confident from the very beginning. And of course Fred Baxter and Stan had a great day yesterday, I thought, throwing the football, and probably as good a day as he's had all year long, and throwing the ball, and Otis Mouse goes back and pursuing and recovers a fumble, come back and hit hit Victor Hall.
Crucial play right here, 3rd and 2.
And I believe we punt from here or
Have to kick the field goal.
Field goal.
Yeah. Missed the first down and kicked the field goal.
Right, and you know, that's been a problem that we've been plagued with all year long, is get the ball in the 4-down zone. And
it's probably the biggest play of the game, Coach.
Well, it's a broken play, and Barker does a good job, drops the ball off to Turner, and great hustle on the part of.
They score 2 plays later.
Chris Schelling to stop it from a touchdown. But again, we're coming back, and you can see that again, Joe Frazier's running hard, and offensive line is creating some running room. And we run a little delay to the tight end, and Fred Baxter makes another nice catch and run with the football after he catches it.
He had 120 yards of receptions.
It's Dale Overton.
Going for it on 4th down here.
Looked like we were just a little bit hesitant there, and of course there's a big play, and it's, you know, you're talking about trying to make a close to a 50-yard field goal or make a first down from a yard out, and we chose to go for it and didn't make it, and that's good on the part of Alabama. And come back, and Fred Smith and company stops Saran Stacy on a sweep.
And it's 10-3, Alabama at the half. We'll be back in just a minute. Coach, certainly like to pay tribute to all of our sponsors who not only sponsor this program, the Auburn Football Review, but the preview show, and of course all of the radio programming. Many of these same sponsors contribute to that effort on the Auburn Radio Network. I'll just read them and you can say what you like, Coach. Colonial Bank, Great Southern Wood and Osmos Pressure-Treated Pine, your Alabama Coca-Cola bottlers, Golden Flake Snack Foods, the John Deere Dealers of Alabama, Alpha Insurance, R.L. Ziegler Company, your Toyota dealers in Alabama, and Bromberg's.
Well, we certainly appreciate their support, and I had the opportunity to have all these people out at my house during the course of the season and visit with them there, and we couldn't have a program without them, and of course we deeply appreciate it.
Certainly do, and we'll be back to review the second half of this football game in just a minute.
I was convinced at the halftime, you know, even though we were behind, I felt like we could win the football game, and Jose Stan throwing to Fred Baxter again in a big play, and they were key factors in the game. You know, for the most part yesterday, we got good protection. Stan had plenty of time to throw the football, and right here he does a great job of getting rid of the football.
Clipping penalty, though, kills that drive.
And they come back and punt, and we did a good job with the punt coverage, and Alabama did a good job with the punt coverage yesterday. They didn't give Thomas Bailey much running room, and of course we did a good job containing that punt returner, and right there is the toughest guy in the Southeastern Conference, number 6.
He can hit you. Oh, my.
Fred Smith is just he's a joy to be around and a joy to watch play. And
ooh, get on that ball.
That's a close fumble by Ricky Sutton, and I'm not sure who ended up getting. But again, we harassed the quarterback pretty good all day long. There's a great catch right there by Fred Baxter. When I was looking at it right in front of our bench, I didn't see any way in the world that Stan could get in the football, and there you can see Teapot Brown, and that was a critical play right there that could have made a big difference in the ball game.
And Wild missed a 44-yard field goal try right after that.
It's Darrell Crawford and Benny Pierce making a play on Barker again.
One of the best defensive efforts of the year, Coach, I think.
You watch this right here. If you don't think that little guy will hit you, because he's not all that little, he just kind of short. He weighs about 185, 90 pounds. And
must have tremendous upper body.
Well, he has just got unbelievable striking, whatever. But as you know, Ricky Sutton, that looked like it. He just, you can't tell from the sideline a lot of times. It looked like Ricky got in on a lot of plays last night, and I sure hope so.
That was a big field goal for Alabama.
He can mean a lot to this football team next year. As a fine interception on the part of Corey Barlow. They tried a halfback pass, and Corey's had a great year for us, great leader, one of our captains. Fine run back here by Teapot Brown, running a draw, and Teapot is an outstanding student and has given us great leadership this year. As Dale Overton again, and of course Dale has been our most productive wide receiver this year, and is a walk-on.
Oh, that might have been a big play there.
We just, we've been plagued by some of those during the course of the year. A fine play by Chris Schellings. Chris is a true freshman that's come in and started playing some free safety, strong safety, and you can see that again we're getting after them, and kids are playing hard. And sometimes when there's another great throw and catch on the part of Victor Hall and Stan. The tight ends played a big role in the game last night. And here's a great run right here by Joe Frazier, and takes the ball and puts it at the 1-yard line. And we fumble a snap from center, and that right there hurt. That put us back at the 3-yard line, and we run the sweep for no gain, and then throw the pass incomplete, and instead of being a 13-10 ball game, it's a 13-6 ball game. But we get the field goal and 13-6, and of course that winds up the scoring, but it doesn't wind up the playing. As Rand Stacy, and again as Carrick Cunningham and Fred Smith, and as Richard Shea. Got a lot of respect for Richard as Anthony Abrams. Richard had kind of a kid that never missed a practice and was always dependable. As Ricky Sutton again coming in and making a big play and blocking the field goal and giving us one more chance to move the football, and Alabama does what they've got to do to stop us. And again, I'm mighty proud of our football team, and you got to give Alabama a lot of credit. The game went exactly like their season is gone. They've won the close games.
They've won 5 in a row, very close with defense.
And we've lost those games. And we're just a little something missing now that we've got to find and correct and be more productive in some areas, make fewer mistakes in others. Be sure that we're doing all the little things that the teams that are winning the close games are doing. And football's a game of inches, and I don't think it's anything big. I think it's just a combination of the little things, and we got to go about correcting them, and we're going to start as soon as
this program's over.
That's right.
Okay, we'll be back in just a minute. 15, 20, 25,000 people who had never seen an Auburn, Alabama game at Legion Field got to see one yesterday.
Probably did. And, Phil, in closing, this senior class, and you can start with offense. We got Dale Overton and Herbert Casey and Eddie Blake and Bob Meeks and Teapot Brown. Is there any other seniors on offense that I need to mention? And of course, we got some outstanding young men coming back: Chris Gray and Wayne Gandy and Tim Tillman, and of course Fred Baxter. Victor Hall is a senior that's going to be moving on. But we've got the nucleus of a good football group of players to build around. And of course, Stan and young quarterbacks coming back. Corey Lewis and Patrick Nix.
Some fine young talent.
Right, and we've got we've already we've got kids in place that, you know, I don't think it's going to be a long, drawn-out thing building our program back and bring it back to where we are used to being. And defensively, of course, we'll miss Corey Barlow and Darryl Crawford and John Wilson. Richard Shea. You know, those kids have played a lot of football and won a lot of games at Auburn, and Chad Muhlenberg and Chris Jones, two specialty team captains. You saw them early in the program, and those kids mean an awful lot to us.
All right, we've got to go, and we'll see you next year on the Auburn Football Review. Thank you for being such great fans.
Coach Dye's apparel provided by Harwell's, with clothing stores in Birmingham, Montgomery, and other fine cities.